Thursday night football. Packers, we talked about it, lost to the Tennessee Titans. And it was the debut of the Shops, which is LeBron James, Maverick Carter's show, successful barbershop show on HBO. And they ran their first simulcast, Manning style, right, of the Thursday night football game. It was LeBron, Maverick Carter, and they had some guests, Jalen Ramsey and Jamie Foxx were there. So it got interesting. They start talking about, why the Packers haven't given Aaron Rodgers the pieces he needs while he's in his prime. I mean, we talked about this to some degree, Rob, been the story of his career, right? I mean, he's had good pieces, but not enough to get to a second Super Bowl. And so they were talking about that. And it kind of turned to maybe about LeBron. Here it is.
You got a transcendent franchise player like Aaron Rodgers, quarterback. Obviously, we know the quarterback position in the NFL, besides if you had like a monster defensive end, or a D tackle like obviously Aaron Donald. That's the most important position in the NFL. So why wouldn't you surround that when you got the picks to maximize what he can do?
And then his who was the guy, Rob? Who's this guy, his boy? Not Maverick. Paul Rivera. He said, are we still talking about football? And turned into, obviously that's similar to LeBron's situation, at least according to some, with the Lakers. Rob, you think there's a fair comparison there?
I don't know. I mean, there's a part of it is the way that the Packers were run. We always talked about that they just, other than like going to get Reggie White, which was a big signing at the time.
Way before Aaron Rodgers. Yep.
Right. Other than that, they just didn't do it. I told you before, They had like one of the most unbelievable things where they had every player except one was drafted by the Packers on a roster. On a 53-man roster, that's incredible. That's just just that everybody was drafted by the team. That just doesn't even sound right.
That's incredibly unusual.
Yeah,
That's
it really
old
is.
School for you.
And the other thing is, I don't know. It's just, sure, you could look back and say, if they had this, if they had that, it would have been this. Yeah, I mean, has he had the greatest defense? No. But, boy, there were so many moments. There was the Seattle onside kick. There were the 3 playoff games where, in the old days where both teams didn't get the ball, right? Where they lost 3 times in the playoffs. Sudden death, where the defense went out there, they lost, and the game was over. He never even touched the ball. So there were moments and opportunities and situations that could have been different. And I don't know, if they get that onside kick in Seattle, are we really talking about that if they went to the Super Bowl the second? Will we still feel the same way? Do you know what I mean? Like that is how close it is to getting to a second Super Bowl and the whole conversation about not having enough being so prevalent. It's just, it's so close.
I think now, I don't think it's even as prevalent as it used to be. I think that used to be the definitive narrative. And I used to say that. Man, they have wasted Aaron Rodgers. He's only been to 1 Super Bowl in this great career he's had. And granted, the defense, to your point, has given up the ghost at times, so to speak. There have been just some bad breaks. And then there's Rodgers not playing well in a lot of NFC title games. And he had Devontae. I mean, these last several years when they won 13 games, he had Devontae Adams. He had a great running game. A solid defense, if not awesome, but solid. And so I think now this year, they don't have, the receiving core is incredibly depleted. And so I get that, but like I said, it's debatable. I mean, I say he's no longer elite. You say he is. So he's not having a great year. We can put it that way. So it's not just, they didn't put enough pieces around him.
No, this year he hasn't played well.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think anybody could sit here and say he's played well.
No.
I just wonder, like, and it's obviously hypothetical, but if they recover the onside kick in Seattle and go to the second Super Bowl, what would, and I'm not saying that they won that Super Bowl, but they went, what would the conversation be? You know what I mean? I just wonder what the narrative or conversation would be about Aaron Rodgers, and obviously the last couple of years where they had home games with a chance to get to the Super Bowl again, they failed. You know what I mean? They failed.
I'll tell you what it would be. If let's say he won that Super Bowl, it would be, man, if he gets one more, I mean, Brady's so far out now with 7, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, maybe the second best quarterback ever, people are thinking. Or, you know, is he as good as Montana? I mean, certainly physically, you know, and statistically, I mean, he's
but it was a different game, right?
Anybody.
But it's a different, right?
Yeah,
for Montana, I always feel bad because it was just a different football played. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's hard to look at his stats. The only stats I look at when they talk about Montana,
his are better than a lot of guys back then.
Yeah, but most of them are just not that good. They aren't. But I look at whenever I look at Montana, I just look at Chris. 11 touchdowns, no picks, 4 Super Bowls, no losses, you know, 2 Super Bowls with Jerry Rice, 2 without Jerry Rice, so you can't use that. You know, oh, well, yeah, Jerry Rice. Well, he didn't have Jerry Rice for all 4. And 2 of the 4 Super Bowls, Chris, he needed a touchdown to win the game, not a field goal. Like that's what I look at, and it's hard to argue with what Joe Montana did in those big games. It just is.
No, he was great. There's no doubt about it. I think as far as LeBron, it's interesting because first of all, it's not like a ton of great moves out there for the Lakers to make. Right. There wasn't a move they turned down where they could have got Dame Dollar. You know, Damian Lillard or somebody like that.
But they've made so many moves, Chris.
They've made a lot of moves.
Anthony Davis, they gave away. Players. Right?
Right. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, people say, well, man, if they had just kept Brandon Ingram and all those. I mean, one, you wouldn't have Anthony Davis.
Right. Which
2,
one is it?
I don't think those dudes would have become this around LeBron. Because now LeBron has backed up these last couple years. He's off the ball more than probably ever. And he's playing more like a true small forward where he's just giving you buckets. So maybe they would have been able to handle the ball a little more. But I don't know, Rob, if they probably don't even have a championship. Let's keep it real. If they don't make that move for Anthony Davis, which had a lot to do with LeBron, they probably don't have a championship. And then it might really be a failure. Him coming here for 4 years.
If they don't have that, Chris, it would.
I mean, you would say 3 of the years they didn't make the playoffs. Who knows what would have happened in the bubble year? But yeah, so and then around that, it was just a bunch of role players. They could have traded Westbrook for John Wall. But now, Rob, with Westbrook coming off the bench, he's really not the problem. But I'll tell you this. Because there was a lot of talk and a lot of reporting on that they could get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield from Indiana. And this is going to hurt Rob G to hear this. He probably knows. For Russ and a first-round draft pick or 2. Here's what Buddy Hield and Miles Turner are doing, Rob.
Yeah, let me
Buddy
hear this.
Hield, 19 points a game and shooting 42% from Trey.
Wow.
All right. Miles Turner.
I need a napkin because I'm salivating. I mean, when you hear those numbers.
Hey, Miles Turner, Rob, yes. 18 points, 9 boards, 3 blocks on 53% shooting overall, 38% from 3. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't know what. I'm not saying it would make the Lakers put them over the top, but my goodness, that's production. That's 2 guys that can shoot the 3. That's another guy who can protect the rim and defend.
It's exactly what they need.
Right.
Well, like my only thing is,
and Rob, they're 7-6, so it's not like you could just say they're empty numbers.
Right.
They're playing better than people expected them to.
I just think if you're the Lakers, I don't understand this stance right now, right? You know what I mean? Like it would be one thing, Christopher, your history, of keeping picks, and you know what I mean. And you said, hey, look, this turned into this guy.
Right.
We don't do that here. Like there's a philosophy that we have a Laker way. We don't just give away our
Right.
But that's not what they've been doing. That's like
Agreed.
that's like the Packers are more apt to. That's what they've done, Chris. That's you know what I mean. Like that's more of like what they've done. They haven't gone out to do stuff because they've drafted their own and they had some success. Even though it's not a lot of Super Bowls, but they've had a lot of success. And they feel like that's what they want to do. And then we said it before. I think not having a real owner is a hindrance to that franchise.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, with the Lakers, and I get it, they're bad. You think, oh, these picks are going to be better. 2027 is still a long way away. Who knows what could happen before then, right? I mean, you might get a great player, and all of a sudden you're a contender again. You just don't know. That's still so far away, and I'm not saying just give away picks, but they got to compete right now. Because not only do you have LeBron, but you got Anthony Davis in his prime. How long you think Anthony Davis' prime is going to be nowhere near as long as LeBron's?
No, because he can't stay healthy.
Right.
It's not even. There's no way you're looking at that.
His prime is already over. I mean, if you really want to. So go out and get the guys that can help you try to win now. We talk about it all the time, Rob. There's really not these, 5-year plans and stuff like that. Remember Philadelphia, the process?
Right. And they know what
now they're good, but they still haven't gotten to a conference final.
Think about that and what they put their fans through and and all that. And it wound up not working. They drafted a guy who lost his shooting ability, right?
Yep.
That killed him.
That was Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, I almost forgot his name.
Could have had Jason Tatum.
Think about that. Like that killed him. That was the one you couldn't miss on. And then the whole Ben Simmons thing and then getting Harden. I don't know. It's just like from where they were and the players that they were supposed to have in those three with all those bad years in Philadelphia, and they still don't have a championship out of it.
Yeah. It's so that's the thing. Like I said, when you have a couple of star players, best thing you can do is go for it right then and there. All right.